All right. My name is James Edwards. Just going to video some stuff just to further, I guess, give an explanation of what's going on. Oh, man. All right. Now, this is the rent for December. As you can see, I have the money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and obviously these are 220s. That's $760, but my rent is actually $730. All right. This is my last paycheck. Okay. I know it's probably not clear, but it shows that my gross pay is $1,600. My actual check was $1,400. Right. And I make $19 an hour. Had a little bit of overtime that week. So I say that this is supposed to be December's rent. I definitely make enough money to be able to afford to pay the rent. My brother also makes anywhere from $17 to $20 an hour, depending on the bonus that he receives. So the rent is not the problem. And I actually have it, but I'm not going to pay it for December. And then I'm going to explain to you why. Now, I've already had several videos that that showed that I had a problem with the electricity. So, I spoke to Lisa, the corporate office, and she said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to move you into a brand new unit, and then you can just start paying December's rent in that brand new unit. I said, okay, I do agree to that. Begin to move a lot of the more heavier items into my unit. Into the new unit, because this was supposed to be the agreement we made. But one day I was moving into the unit and I realized that the ceiling was leaking. I called and spoke to the young lady. I'm assuming she's at least the apartment manager, since she's the only person that I ever see. I called and spoke with her and explained to her, hey, this unit is leaking. I don't know about moving into this unit. She said, okay, well, I'll have the maintenance man check it out. Where is the leak? I explained to her where the leak was. So she called me back and I missed a call, and then I called her and she said, well, the maintenance man went upstairs into the unit above you and he is not seeing any indication that there was any type of fluid leakage from inside the apartment. And when he looked into your apartment, he didn't see anywhere that indicated that there was anything that came from the ceiling, any water that came from the ceiling. I said, well, how would he be able to determine whether or not water came from the ceiling? She said, well, if there's a leakage and water is coming from the ceiling, then he'll be able to find a brown residue, some sort of residue, and it shows that there was some leakage. So me being the person that I am, I told her, well, I'll send you the video, which I have sent her, with a nice note basically stating that I do not feel comfortable, will not be moving into this apartment. I haven't moved any of my stuff out or anything because I'm still waiting on a response from her. All right. She said that there would be brown residue. Upon coming into this apartment, everything is the same. Everything's the same. I left it the same with this couch that had all that water on it. As you can see, I guess it got some other stuff. I think this probably came from the ceiling too. But if you look at the ceiling, that is a long brown streak. Look at how long that brown streak is. That's exactly where it was leaking. So she was right. And I found it. I don't know why the maintenance man had issues finding it. I think that they may have thought that the leak came from over here. And so what he did was he probably came and glanced over here, and he didn't see anything, so he assumed. I explained to them exactly where the leak was. Then I sent them the video. Haven't received a response from her. Another thing that I noticed is the ceiling has been cut out. If you look, I don't know if you can see where the ceiling has actually been cut out. And I know this because when I had the flood in my apartment, the first thing they did was they had to cut the ceiling out and look to see where the leak was coming from. After they cut the ceiling out, they had to patch the ceiling back up. And it was so obvious that they cut the ceiling out, because you could look up at the ceiling and see that there was a difference. See, there's the edge right there. I don't know if it can be seen. But there's a difference between the normal ceiling, and you can kind of see it. And you can see where it's been kind of meshed together. The pattern changes in the ceiling, right? And one thing I've noticed with this particular apartment is it has the same patch, and it runs all the way across this particular area. And so does that brown mark. It goes all the way across this area. I have a hard time believing, especially based off of what she's telling me, that this is something that just came from upstairs. I believe that there's some sort of crack in the foundation or some sort of leak somewhere, because it doesn't leak unless it rains. When it rains, this area leaks. So I personally believe, even though I'm not the maintenance man, that there's some sort of crack somewhere outside, and it's able to leak into this particular apartment. And I do not feel comfortable moving into an apartment. And then look at where the leak is happening. Like, it'd be a difference if this was next to the kitchen, but this leak is happening all the way over here. Get a shot of this area. This leak is happening closer to the window, closer to the door. You know, if it was happening in a bathroom or it was happening in the kitchen, then I could say, I mean, you don't know where the water can come from anywhere. So this part is basically an assumption, but I would feel more comfortable saying, okay, something happened upstairs where it was a flood or something, or they forgot to turn the sink water off, and it seeped downstairs below them. But who leaks? How do you have this much water come into an apartment, and then for one, they can't find it. They don't know where it's coming from. And two, look at where it's at. Like, it's close to my window. This is coming from, I believe, outside. And I see where they have cut into the ceiling, possibly looking for water, and they have replaced the ceiling. So I say that to say, oh, and the heat. Okay. Now the heat, as you can see, it is on 90, right? It's on 90. I had them turn the heat on. The gas company turned the heat on. Okay, and this was on the 1st. And it says that they left it off at the appliance. And cut the flex cannot run into combustion chamber without factory gourmet with sediment. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe that's something maintenance can understand. It shows that it's on. And even the water gets hot, so I'm able to take a shower over here. So I was able to take one the other day. So basically the heat's on in this apartment because my intentions were to move into this apartment and pay them rent and live here for another year. But I'm not. So basically what's going on is until I get some sort of, she's not at the office right now and I just went by there and I'm not gonna be waiting all day. Until I can get some sort of response. I called the corporate office as well, was unable to get in contact with Lisa. I don't know what's going on there. But until I can get some sort of response or some sort of explanation as to what's going to happen at this point, I'm not going to pay my rent because this is getting ridiculous. And I'm starting to believe that my situation is not unique in any way. Because for them to move me into a unit and for that unit to be leaking as well. And then when I spoke to someone from the property management, the company that bought this, they said that the lady told me that they didn't really know that there were so many problems with this apartment complex, but there are problems before I spoke to Lisa. And I'm starting to see them. So I signed my lease agreement prior to realizing that they had this issue. But I do not feel comfortable going from one issue to another. If this is the case, I would rather stay in my apartment, the apartment where I know what the issues are. I know that the light is going to go out and come in when it wants to. It may work or it may not work. You know what I'm saying? At least I can turn on my heat to stay warm. This is the winter time. And to their credit, this is something that I noticed because I haven't been living in here. I've been living in my other apartment, and then I come in here in this apartment to take a shower and put on some clothes because I had moved a lot of my clothes. I moved a lot of my clothes into this apartment because I was thinking that, you know, start fresh. But like I said, man, I do not feel comfortable moving into this apartment. I sent an email. The property manager knows what's going on. I haven't put the door up yet, but he told me he would. They know what's going on. I'm expecting her to send me a message back and to let me know where we're gonna go from here. Otherwise, man, I am not gonna pay for this. I'm not gonna pay for leaky ceilings. And see, this room doesn't look bad. You don't see any change in the ceiling. You don't see, everything it's uniform. Everything is uniform. You know, except for when you get here, it was cut. Somebody cut into that. I don't know if you can see the outline, but that is a large cut. That is a large cut into the ceiling. And that is a long streak. It's almost like it's cracked. It looks like it's just cracked, but from going through this leakage before, I know that it's not somebody actually cut to the ceiling, took the ceiling, that out of the ceiling. That's more brown residue. So, yeah, I don't know how they missed that. That's crazy. But, yeah, I'm not moving in here, man. I gotta figure something out, man. I'm not moving here. I'm not paying rent. I'm at the point where I'm actually looking for another place to stay altogether. Okay, this is just video proof. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube just to keep as documentation. I'm not using it to defame anybody or make anybody look bad. Not drawing attention to it. I just want to keep the video on a platform where I can always access it just in case something happens to my phone I always have access to this video just in case, for whatever reason, I have to go to court and prove that this isn't a really good apartment complex to live in. All right, thank you.